I punted so hard this entire game. Okay, it didn't matter, I won, that's all that matters. This game took 20 minutes longer than it should have. I made it! I did it! I did it!
Ah, shit, fuck! Oh god.
Actually, it's me, and you both voted for each other. Yeah.
Hello everybody! Welcome to the Games Laboratory Twitch channel. This is something new that we're doing. We are going to be, well, me personally, it's going to be bi-weekly, but not the twice a week weekly, the once every 2 weeks bi-weekly. Playing a game of Dungeons & Dragons with some wonderful people from the Games Laboratory community. I don't know exactly where they are configured in relation to myself at the moment, but we have Kim.
Hello.
Bo. Nick. I'm just introducing everybody. We have Kim, Bo, Nick.
Ahoy.
And Sully. I'm probably not pointing at you at all. with what Ben's configured, but that's where you are for me, so that's where I'm going to be gesturing.
Now that's exactly how it looks like on stream.
Excellent. Okay. So, we are going to be jumping right in with something I've thrown together over the past few months. I hope everybody's excited for a ridiculous mashup of D&D and Magic the Gathering, and it's going to be fun times. So, let us begin, shall we? Your home, your land, the entire world in which you were born and grew up is in fact one of many. Though very few people are aware of this fact, each of your homes makes up just one small piece of a near endless span of worlds called the multiverse. The few of you who are aware of this multiverse are beings lucky and powerful enough to explore it, called planeswalkers. They can step from one plane to the next and explore all these worlds and what they have to offer. In the past, planeswalkers were far more powerful. They were functionally immortal and godlike in their power. Planeswalkers could create life and even planes of their own. However, after temporal rifts emerged throughout the multiverse, a brave group of planeswalkers gave up a large amount of their power to close the rifts and save the multiverse. Though this did have a side effect. All the other planeswalkers were equally weakened by the sacrifice of a few, and one planeswalker refused to accept this limitation. He set about enacting a plan to regain his power, and after centuries of planning, plotting, and scheming, his plan is near its end. In recent years, some have been working hard to stop this plan, and while their stories may be coming to an end, yours are just beginning. I will take us over to Dear Conti. on the plane of Chandala. It has been months since you found yourself trapped in this crypt, but you finally think you found a way out. One of the sealed tombs appears to have actually been a fraud, and after cracking it open, you found a dusty but well-made flight of stairs leading down. As you emerge into a larger, well-lit and grander room, as you can see, your eyes are squinting and at the harshness of the torchlights, since you've been in effective darkness for months. And as you step out, kind of squinting into the torchlight, can you please describe your character?
Cortinari is a very, very young Devkaran dark elf. Maybe 5 foot tall. Looks well fed for being living in these catacombs for quite a long time. As has some basic druid knowledge and can feed themselves even off fungi and other things. Long white hair, probably tousled and all over the place, and very noticeably across his chest a large giant skull fashioned into some kind of breastplate sitting over black leathers.
Excellent. And so around you is a far more lavish version of the crypt you found yourself trapped. None of the skeletons are sealed away in lying down mausoleums. They are all on display, lining the various walls, with a few non-ogre remains lying around the place, consumed by time. What would you like to do?
I'd like to take this carefully because something lit up this room. So stealthily, gingerly move over towards the nearest skeleton and examine it for signs of death, signs of how it was mummified.
Okay. Can you please make me a medicine roll then, please? Ooh, solid roll. It seems that this skeleton is currently suspended on some kind of fine lattice of wood and metal. So it's like an armor stand, but very carefully sculpted to support the skeleton. It appears to not have been preserved in way of a mummification. It's literally just the bones of whatever this creature was, but very carefully held together, and in places perhaps even wired together to simulate the effect of the muscle that's now no longer there.
I continue through this room up towards... I'm taking it the image is a bit realistic, and there's a shrine-looking thing up the end of the hall.
Indeed, yes. A large shrine that houses a more well-built equivalent to the various other skeletons you're seeing around, with arms crossed, with fists clenched, and even longer tusks on these ogre-type creatures than you've seen previously. And as you're examining it, you begin to hear footsteps echoing throughout the stone hallways, making their way in your direction. What do you do?
Stealth, and I hide behind one of the nearest ogre skeletons, not the very fancy one off to the side. If I can duck into the alcove.
Please make me a stealth check. All right, that's a natural one.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
That's right.
Yeah. Next, we are going to slide on over to somewhere potentially a bit nicer, with Theon. Being from Lorwyn as you are, I imagine you are quite an early riser, given the
Very much
whole
so.
Lorwyn Shadowmoor duality. An elf from Lorwyn would take as much advantage of the sun as they could.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, and I kind of try and avoid the night as much as possible, because that's where the beasts hide.
That's where all the dangers lie. In fact, it's probably been a pretty lucky day for you so far. On one of your many outings into the forests of this land, you've come to know that this land is called Eldraine. And during one of your many hunts, you were able to spot an elk almost immediately out of the city. And being who you are currently carrying your fresh kill through the streets of the floating city of Lochthwain to sell. Can you please describe yourself as you're like trundling through the streets?
So I am what would look like a teenager to mere humans, but I'm rather older, but young of looking because I am a elf. I have what looks to be the antlers of one said elk shaped over my head, which is kind of interesting since they're not normally looking like this if I'm from Lorwyn. But the elk that I'm carrying actually doesn't have any antlers on it whatsoever, which most people would find that a bit confusing. I'm a bit scrawny, not too stocky, just a solid build. Black hair, black eyes, light skin, with a cloak, a very green-looking cloak over me with a hood that isn't covering my head.
Okay. And as you weave your way through the city, you've got one location in mind. You've been here for about a month and a half now, and you've had dealings with several of the butchers and meat dealers in this town. There's one that you're quite fond of, someone who maybe isn't the best personality, but always gets you the best prices. So you round a corner and approach their establishment.
Okay, so I go in and say, my old friend, thank you so much. How have you been? I've got a new kill for you today. Yep.
Before you is a grumpy-looking old man, classic leather apron brown with various tools and things coming from the pocket. He is very nearly bald, but is doing his best to hide it. And he just like as you walk in and say, "How are you doing?" His cleaver impacts the chopping board with a thunk and goes, "Hey, how you doing, my friend? You got another kill for me?"
You know it. Hopefully, I'm your best hunter. So.
Oh, you're one of the few. Nah, I'll give you. Let me see the thing. Let me see. I'm gonna just you to drop it down. A big thumb just lands on his shopping board and says, "Oh, it's a bit scrawny, ain't it?"
Look, pickings were a bit slim today, but I can promise that I'll do better later in the week.
Really, it's like an hour past dawn and you say pickings are slim. I guarantee you're going out there again and you'll be back in a couple of hours. I know you.
Well, who am I to kid? You know me way too well.
I'll give you 2 gold for it.
Ooh. 3, and you've got a deal.
Roll persuasion. Yeah. Ooh, not bad. He kind of goes, "Yeah, all right, I can never say no to you, kid." Just pulls out 3 gold from a pouch and just hands them to you. So you
This
can
is
mark
why
off.
I love you. Oh, sorry, Rory. This is why I love you.
Oh, you kidding you. And you can mark off 3 additional gold pieces on your character sheet. And after he kind of like drags the elk down and go start hanging, he says, "Well, get out of here! I'm busy!" Okay. And you hustle back out and make your way towards the floating city's exit to make your way back towards the forest. Now then, let's cut across to Ravane.
Oh,
Now, I may not have done the best job of describing your location at the time, but this is basically what we're dealing with, is the image you can see.
oh my. Oh.
You found yourself, very unfortunately, on the plane of New Phyrexia. And
Oh, that's what it's called?
yeah,
Wow.
and
Oh.
after finding a sanctuary in a rather harsh-looking forest, you found an encampment called Seedling that kind of begrudgingly welcomed you at first. Your skills as a healer have been a great blessing to them as you've passed your weeks here tending to the sick and easing the passing of their more grievously afflicted.
Yeah, there's this one kid, Tim or Tom, with the really dark hair, and he keeps hitting himself on things. It's great. Always got to do.
Mm-hmm. You found your own small corner of the camp that you call your own, and as the peculiar dawn chorus wakes you up, can you please describe yourself?
Oh, well, I'm a big goose man. I got a sort of awkward fitting leather tunic with a sort of a cassock over it, but it doesn't really fit. So I got a bit of a weird belt going around. It wasn't for me. It was. Well, I think it was for a horse, but it worked. So, and I'm a little bit gangly. But I've been eating well. They're real nice. They're really, really nice. So I got a little bit of belly now, even. And this is a very strange place. I've had a bad few weeks.
You've had a pretty miserable few weeks. Anytime you dare,
It's really nice though.
Yeah, everyone's really friendly inside the camp, but anytime you dare venture out, it's always fraught with dangers, and you haven't really attempted flight much, considering how pointy the canopy is.
Everything is pointy.
Everything is pointy.
The leaves are pointy. Why are the leaves pointy? I've seen leaves. Leaves aren't pointy.
They're soft. Well, they should be. So, what would you say your morning routine would be?
I have a bit of panic. and then I go see. I think I keep forgetting her name's Mariah, and I ask her what I can help with, because this is all pretty new to me.
Malira is a young girl who is, strangely enough, the leader of this encampment. She has described to you a strange ability she possesses far beyond your own healing gifts. She's able to remove something from people called phyrexis, some kind of unpleasant process that happens to people that you saw an example of firsthand when you first arrived with those Mir down by the sea.
These weird ibis robot things, and I tried to. I got a couple of the pamphlets for Sarah, and I tried to give them one, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. And so I came back here. They don't much like my pamphlets either, but they're much nicer in general.
Yes. Malira will basically turn to you from a tree she was communing with and say, "Hello, Ravane. How are you doing today?"
The usual.
Still panicked, I see. Yes, it's understandable. I know you draw calmness from the simplicity of your trade.
It's we're awfully low here.
We have.
Anything I can help with today?
Absolutely.
Hey, we're maybe up.
One of our scouting parties has taken a bit of a tumble. One of them has been quite grievously impaled on a branch, and they aren't. And they aren't. It was Tim, unfortunately. Yes, he's awfully clumsy for a scout, I must say. But They aren't currently in a position to move him, so now's the time that we need you to go out to them.
Oh, which way? Is it up? Please,
Yes,
you never
it
said.
is. It actually is up about 200 feet up in the canopy and roughly half a mile northwest.
I'll go straight away. Okay.
Okay, and you just kind of hustle out of the encampment. Can you please make me a survival check to get your bearings in these unusual in this odd terrain and actually follow Malira's directions to where you need to go? Not bad. You are able to catch a glimpse of the morning sun through the canopy and start flying away to help someone in need. Probably fully spreading your wings for the first time in a few weeks, which feels so good.
Right, a bit of an awkward flyer, especially here where everything is made of pain. But,
So
yeah. So it's more like a drunk goose at this exact moment.
And you're keeping a wide berth of absolutely everything, I would imagine.
Yes. There's not many good wide berth spots, though, I find.
Yes. So as you are flying off to tend to someone's wounds, we're going to move over once more to Evelyn. Evelyn? What should we go for?
DM's choice.
I will say
Whatever you pick
Evelyn.
right now, I will stay with.
I'm going to go with Evelyn just because that is how I do. So, you are awoken in a manner you've grown quite accustomed to in recent weeks by the hooting and hollering of goblins. Something to note about this place that you've been living in is that most of the goblins sleep in one of a few large communal sleeping huts with piles of moss, pelts, and other comforts in the middle. And the goblins would normally pile up in the center of these huts for warmth and for collective safety in the nights. Would Evelyn have joined them in this cuddle pile?
Most definitely not.
Okay. Well, they are respectful of your ways and your decision, and after your recent successes in amongst this tribe, you were probably given a small hut all your own to rest in. Could you please describe to me Evelyn as she wakes up and how she gets ready for the day?
Upon waking, her black-brown hair is quite a mop on the top of her head. It's about shoulder length and it's kind of sticking up at all odd angles. Her skin's quite pale, not helped by the fact of there's not much sunlight where she currently is, as the trees probably cover most of it. She wears simple clothes throughout the day as she dons them. It's a light leather vest, some simple arm strapping and gloves, and some comfortable and supple leather pants and some canvas shoes. Light but sturdy and easy to move around in, accompanied by some quite light leather shoulder pads and some fan braces as well for added protection. Bright blue eyes, about as plain as any old human girl can be.
Indeed. So, as you emerge from your small hut, you can see that it's already kicking off around you. The tribe have already persuaded in a few of the larger male bull Lagak riding lizards, and they're trying their best to persuade them to breed with some of their choice females. As you know, these Grotag goblins of Zendikar are famous for their semi-successful domestication of the Logak riding lizard. You don't really get close to a lot of the younger goblins because they have kind of a Lemmings-esque kamikaze lifestyle where they will throw goblins at a problem until it's solved. And it's basically like that. As you see them just going about their business, just like going like trying to herd the big reptiles to where they need to be, you're probably approached by one of the elder goblins who lives in this place, who's probably been dealing with you the most, just because they're not going out and doing anything stupid like dying anytime soon. And so this older goblin, probably about 20 years old, but rather old for a goblin, says, "Hello there, Evelyn. How was your rest?"
It was quite good as I tighten the straps on my arm a little bit more. Yes, as good as it can be, really.
Excellent. Now, I've been told we're expecting some traders this afternoon, so don't get too preoccupied in your duties. Make sure you're back in plenty of time to do the deal.
Yes, of course.
But in the meantime, we're running low on water.
Right, that should be my first job then. I'll go get some water.
You know where the buckets are. I'll see you in a few hours.
Yes, you will.
You toddle off and grab the big, weird, curved piece of wood that's as close to a proper one of those as could be found in the forest. Like, hook one empty bucket on each end and start trudging your way off through the woods upstream to find some water that isn't swamp water. Right. And now, I'm now addressing all of you. Something unusual begins to happen. Corty, as you're cowering behind this skeleton, Ravain as you're flying through the trees, Evelyn as you're trudging up a hill, and Theon as you're making your way out of the city, you feel this unusual tickle in the back of your head. It's kind of hard to describe, but it sounds kind of like those of you in company kind of glance around, and no one else can really seem to be reacting to it. And the more you hear it and the more you think about it, the more inviting it sounds. It sounds like something that's calling out to you from an unknowable distance. Now, something to note. In all the time you've spent here, stuck away from home, none of you have any idea how it is you came to be here, and any attempt to reverse the process have been unsuccessful. But as you're listening to this sound, you think if you concentrate on it, you can leave wherever you are and go somewhere else, like before. Are you going to follow it?
I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'm just sort of curiously reaching out to it, like, what?
Okay. The rest of you, yay.
I bolt towards the forest because that's where I'm assuming it's calling me.
Okay.
I try and fall through the cold stone wall behind me as these footsteps come towards me.
Okay. Evelyn?
Evelyn kind of takes a moment, making sure she's got everything on her, and then goes for it and follows the voice.
Okay. As you all take actions to escape where you are or to go towards this place, you feel yourselves gone in an instant.
Tim, whatever.
You just disappear from where you were and what you were doing, and you feel yourselves hurtling through space like before. It's darkness and it's speed and it's terrifying, and you can see glimpses of other strange, disparate locations as you fly by. But eventually, you land somewhere. All four of you, though not together, are standing in a market square. It is very busy and bustling. It is multicultural. There's dozens, hundreds of people of all shapes, size, walking the streets, doing business. And as you look around, Corty, immediately, this is home. Not the underground part that you're used to. But you're back on Ravnica. Everybody else, you glance around to catch your bearings, and beyond the initial weird look you get from a passerby at your sudden appearance in this marketplace, no one really seems to pay you any attention as people are going about their business. You see unusual blue-skinned people, like small goblins in finely made suits scurrying about, people riding these enormous creatures you've never seen before. You even see one person who appears to have a second set of arms, except they're the arms of a lobster.
Excuse me? Is something wrong with your wings?
What? No, I don't have any change. Go away. And he kind of just brushes you off.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you are basically standing in this open market square. You are not together, but for narrative purposes, you are nearby. What would you like to do?
I'm going to start darting around looking for an entrance to the Golgari underground. I am not welcome up here.
Yes,
and I'm just going to start darting around and hoping that I can get into some kind of cover away from the plan. As people.
As you start glancing around, you notice that you are near a few landmarks you recognize. If from this market square, ahead and to the right, you can see the main church of the Orzhov faith, standing high and proud, and behind you, towering above you, is Nivix, the home base of the Izzet League. But you aren't especially familiar with this location, and you don't see any Golgari-friendly faces immediately.
So what I was hoping to lean into is a background thing.
I'm aware of your background.
Okay.
It's okay.
Cool.
But it does take time to define these pathways.
So I'm hoping to skitter around in this marketplace until I can maybe find an entrance and maybe run into a fellow PC along the way.
Fair enough. What would the rest of you like to do? Evelyn?
Evelyn kind of scrambles to her feet because she wouldn't have landed on her feet. She would have toppled over backwards as soon as there was solid ground around her.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of skitters backwards for a second, like just into like a kind of a crowd of people, and then stands up, realizes that she was on the ground, and kind of straightens herself out, kind of melds in with the people, kind of walks around, eyeing off, trying to work out where she is.
Just trying to blend in. You can go ahead and make me a history check, please. If you're trying to figure out where you are.
Yes.
You have absolutely no idea.
No clue.
This looks nothing like any market you've ever been to on Innistrad or on Zendikar.
Are there any guards roaming the streets?
There are some individuals who look like guards, these tall figures covered in plate mail with blue adorned hoods. Some of them appear to be wearing scrolls holstered like a weapon at their hip, just kind of patrolling about the place, keeping an eye out for trouble.
She kind of tries to avoid them a little bit, not obviously, but kind of like, just
sure,
not there.
This is a pretty busy marketplace, so that's not a problem.
Cool.
How about you, Ravine?
I would have seen these same guards, sort of.
Yes.
Okay. Like, excuse me.
Yes. Yes. Hello.
I'm new, baby.
New? Well, what do you mean, strange bird person? Are you from the Simic?
What's a Civic? Is it in? And I pull out one of my pamphlets and I'm just going through a quick smile. Like, no.
Okay. I've never seen anyone quite like you before. How can we help you?
Where am I? Again?
You're in the main plaza of the 10th district.
And that is
Ravnica.
yes.
This is the city of Ravnica. How do you not know that? Who are you?
I'm Reve. And
Hello.
I'm new, and I may have hit my head again.
All right. If you like, I can direct you to a local physician. Perhaps they can tend to your wounds.
Do you have healers here, like the church, like
Yes.
Sarah?
And he kind of gestured up to this big, gaudy, Gothic-looking structure behind you with, like, flying buttresses out the wazoo, lots of towers, lots of wealth is in this building. You can tell just from the outside. He says, yes, the Oldorf can take care of you, potentially.
Does it look anything like the ones I'm used to?
It looks a lot more on the ground than the ones you're used to, and kind of the pride of place you would expect to see, like the symbol of Sarah, is an unusual. It looks a bit like a compass where there's 4 main cardinal directions and 4 smaller ones in between them, surrounded by a circle, kind of suspended above the doors, cast in gold.
Anything less terrestrial?
You are probably from the Simic, by the way you're shaped. Maybe I can direct you to them. They're not far.
Sure. Are they nice?
Yes, they're extremely friendly, I'm sure. I'll get you directions, and like this guard pulls out a map from a scroll case and starts to unfurl it. Theon.
Really nice scroll case you got there.
Yes. Theon, what are you doing?
So I look around to make sure there's no other elves around. Do I see any other elves?
You see other elves around. Some are dressed in fine clothes. In fact, one of them had the 2 weird lobster arms that you saw. But
do any of them have horns like mine?
no.
So I'm confused. You're not an elf. So I go up to one of them and say,
Yes?
"Excuse me, you
Yes?
look like me, but you don't. I'm not rude, but what
I'm not certain of what you're referring to, strange individual. I am an elf, and you are an elf with a very fancy head adornment. What's the problem?
I'm just trying to figure out where the forest disappeared to, because...
Oh, forest, you'll want the Selesnya. Yes, over there. And kind of gestures in a general direction.
Okay.
You can see past some of the buildings, this large, like the large top canopy of this big, beautiful tree that is just is making its presence very clearly known across the landscape. But aside from that, you don't see a lot of natural vegetation around you. It's just city.
I have to ask you,
Yes?
who's in power, and how do they get in power? Like,
you mean the Selesnya? That'll be Trostani.
Trostani. Okay, but who's in power? Who controls this entire city?
I'm sorry, no one controls the city.
Wait,
this is
so-
what?
Who controls the hunts? Like, do elves go on hunts?
That makes a lot more sense. Look, I don't deal with the gruel. That's your business. I'm gonna go, and it just starts to, like, walk away.
Okay, so I'm now completely confused. This elf doesn't act better than everyone else, and he doesn't seem to be a threat to me. So
No.
maybe I'm safe in this place, because all the other elves,
Hold
they
that
want me
thought.
dead.
As you are standing around, all 4 of you at various different locations in this marketplace begin to see this like the sounds of rumbling thunder and flashes of lightning come from a cloud formation up above you. Initially, you hear things akin to God damn, is it at it again? Just from the people around you murmuring. But gets a bit more alarming than that. You notice, falling from the sky, battered, bleeding, and very much not okay, is an enormous red dragon. This dragon is clearly severely wounded and it is not going for a landing, more so a crash. Corty, I would say you, being from here, recognize this as Niv Mizzet, the Parent of the Izzet League.
No!
And just as you squeak out this no, the body of Niv Mizzet impacts the ground and the streets rumble slightly as a large cloud of dust and debris is blasted upwards from this dragon's body, impacting several buildings.
I'm devastated.
A few miles away.
Cortinari is probably slightly pleased.
Mm-hmm.
I love Nick Mizzet. His stupid head tassels are great, but Cortinari is definitely going to start legging it away as probably guards are going to head towards Niv. I have a quick plan I would like to start enacting now.
Well, I will say, more things happen.
Okay.
More things are happening besides Niv Mizzet falling from the sky. As soon as this impact occurs, you will see another dragon descend from the same cloud structure that was housing them. It is a greenish gold-looking dragon with large curved horns with a large oval-shaped gem suspended between them. It's wearing large shoulder pads with basically flowing robes going down from the shoulder pads. And as it soars over the city, it lets out this horrendous bellow. And something else happens.
Dragons already? I see how this campaign is going to go.
A location you can see down the thoroughfare. This unusual spherical tower suspended in the air explodes from the inside in this massive burst of blue energy, and erupting from it is this massive black monolithic structure that takes out several blocks in either direction. It looks a little something like this. And as it erupts and settles and rocks the ground around you, the dragon settles in and lands on top of it, as though it's his throne and he's surveying a new kingdom all his own. The dragon then lets out another bellow, and on the bridge that was partially crushed by this large citadel landing, and another weird portal shimmers into existence. Those of you nearby can see through the portal a blasted sandy landscape, and marching through it are blue-coated skeletal figures. They appear to be armed, and as they advance, you can see dozens, and then hundreds, maybe even thousands of them, marching on the city. They begin to break into a run once they are clear of the portal and are heading straight in the direction of the market in which you stand. What do you do?
I turn the other way. Bolt.
I start to run.
Everyone did not teleport here to be assaulted by blue skeletons. She just turns around and pushes past people to get away. Like
Do not like this place.
Between
this is worse than Shadowmoor.
I'll take the pointy forest again. Which way is away?
So as all four of you just begin to break through the crowd, and the mass of people, all now screaming around you in panic and fear, begin to run as fast as they can in a direction opposite to this encroaching army. As you run and kind of glance over your shoulder, you're worried that this like human scrum / mosh pit isn't gonna get away fast enough. And as you're running, you see a dark-skinned man wearing white and blue flowing robe leaps off a nearby building, begins to slowly fall to the ground, and like between his palms, this sphere of magic erupts and engulfs the entirety of this encroaching army. What was a sprint is now a slow motion run, as whoever this is has just created an area of localized slowdown time. He just turns to the crowd and says, "Run! Keep running!" And you all just keep on booking it as fast as you can away from these figures. As you run and dart your way through the streets of the city, a few things catch your attention. Not long after you make it clear of the main thoroughfare, you find yourself passing local security forces that are taking up arms against these invaders. Most of them are wearing like white and red surcoats adorned with a breastplate that has the symbol of a closed fist in the center of their chest, and they are trying their best to like direct you down various streets while also fighting against these attacking individuals. Many of them fall in the defense of the civilians. You do see other groups fight back as well. Groups of mysterious hooded figures strike from the shadows. Unusually and brightly dressed mechanists and artificers are launching bolts of lightning from unusual metal gauntlets that they're carrying. And some unusual, nonsensical-looking beasts and weirdly mutated people are using their natural weapons to fight back against these creatures.
Lobster Man?
Yes, people like lobster men.
Go,
One more thing,
Lobster Tim!
just keep running. One more thing also catches your attention. Where there once was none, there is a glowing golden symbol that hangs in the sky above this three-towered structure off on a hillside. Corti, you know this structure as New Favre, the base of operations of the Azorius Senate. You don't know what this symbol indicates, but it's a weirdly intricate triangular pattern just suspended in the air like skywriting. But just looking at it makes you feel very uneasy and kind of claustrophobic. Eventually, as you're just running and are short of breath and just trying to get away as fast as you can, you notice that none of these creatures that are chasing down civilians are bothering to go indoors. And by luck or fate, you find yourselves hiding out inside an unused warehouse with many other civilians catching their breath and cowering in fear.
So that's either really good or really bad, right?
Does that happen a lot here?
Oh, you too. Hi.
Hi. So, do you know what's happening? Does anybody know what's happening?
That's what's happening.
So Corti goes to actually speak for the first time, and I cannot do this voice, but it sounds like cicadas. So, no, it is not common here.
Yes.
Buddy, I think you got something in your throat.
So you, Corti, probably have a much easier time of pegging these other three individuals as being not from around here, because you are from around here. You have never seen someone dressed quite like Evelyn or like Theon, and you've never even seen an Avon before. So they are definitely not from around here.
So something that I've been wanting to do for a little bit, and I was going to do it while we were maybe running, but I wanted to detect magic and try and feel that pull that I felt in my head again. That same kind of magic.
Interesting. Okay, then you, as you run, you like catch a corner and you release the detect magic spell, Just because of the nature of this, I'm going to say even though the source of it isn't within range of you, its effects will be. And if you're just running and focusing, you could probably extrapolate that the source of that sound was still occurring as you were running, and it was kind of emanating from one of the cantilevering towers erupting from Nivix, home of the Izzet. And as you were running, you saw this individual with black hair and a shock of white, carrying this large canister on his back, kind of panicking as much as you were on top of this contraption, or just like calling bolts of lightning down from the sky and shooting them at the attackers.
And as I duck into the warehouse, because it's 10 minutes as long as I have concentration, do I feel any of that strange energy around these three individuals?
I would say you would be able to sense that they are or were affected by it, just as you were. They felt the pull of the interplanar beacon.
Come. I think Jews and yous, and I want to hush them all into a corner.
Okay, well, just so you know, you now have control of your tokens on this map if you wish to move them around and do this and that. The main... the people you see on this map are basically the kind of individuals you see around you. There's two like weird figures in the back whispering to one another, two older people panicking. You've also got a goblin just cowering a little bit, and kind of like booming his voice over all of them is the person you followed into this building, which is this individual here. He is a more seasoned officer of the Boros, and is basically just like he's doing his best to maintain his composure and is checking back and forth all the windows and doors to make sure that you are secure and safe for the time being.
So does he look like the guard sort of people that we saw outside?
He doesn't look like he's from the same operation. He's wearing red and white as opposed to the blue and white that you saw on the other figures, but he certainly carries an air of authority amongst these people, and they are all respecting him all the same.
Gotcha.
So we came through this door?
Yes. You probably burst through that door after coming down this street, and this Boris guard just like grabs a large plank of wood from the side of the door, drops it over, and just seals it.
Can I help you with that, maybe?
It's okay, strange bird person. It's okay. Okay, everybody.
Oh, strange. This is strange.
Okay, everybody.
Come with me, Birdman. And just want to lead him back into this back corner here.
Okay. You seem nice.
I climb on the table and follow while readying my bow.
Okay. Just so you know, as a quick aside of where you are in a warehouse, so all these things around you are crates stacked up of various sizes.
Okay. So yeah, I climb, just start climbing upwards.
Okay.
Because I would normally be used to climbing trees.
Evelyn squeezes herself into a corner very tightly and very snugly and kind of puts her arms around herself and like makes sure she can't see any of the windows. It's like, if I can't see out, it can't see me in, and I'm safe.
Either way, pile in here. I was just going to attempt some Ravnica exposition. So I felt some of the same magic on you. I was taken from home many months ago and just returned to this.
Can you tell us more? What do you know?
All I know is that you have the same fate somehow.
Because I've gone through what seems to be 3 different worlds, different places, because I don't recognize any of these places. Like, cities don't even exist properly where I'm from.
Oh, there were worlds! Of course! That still doesn't make any sense.
Evelyn kind of just like looks up to you, squints a little bit, and then kind of back into the corner.
Sounds like you, Elf, have more idea than any of us.
Oh, I was running from my race, essentially, other elves, and they were trying to kill me. And then I hid, and then I appeared in another forest and saw this weird city which had other elves in it, so I was very skeptical. But I'd never seen anything like this on my home, near my home. And then I left there and then appeared in this place with all these large buildings. Spoke to someone asking where the forests are, and they were a bit confused, but they pointed me in a direction, and then this all started happening. So no idea what's happening.
Yes. Only the Selesny here have the above ground forest. But it's a forest. My people have some.
Just really? Okay. And
They are a little different.
so who's in charge of this city? Who controls all this stuff? Like who organizes the hunts? Because those
There is no.
undead things look like they were trying to hunt everyone.
Those are new. Those were never here when I was home last. They killed one of the guild leaders, the leader of the Izzet. The guild leaders control Ravnica.
I'm sorry, this is taking me quite a while to process. I'm gonna be here for a bit.
Yes,
Like,
I
a
do not.
while. Oh my.
What is Ravnica?
And I'm a second level character. I can't answer all their questions.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, you spent most of your life underground anyway, so like I assume you spent some time on the surface, but most of it was in the Undercity.
I'd have heard of a giant red dragon who controlled the Izzet. Like,
Yes, you would be familiar with most of the guild leaders. Probably not the person who leads the Demir, just because of the nature of them, but
the what now?
exactly.
Evelyn kind of like straightens herself out and kind of sits up a little bit more normal, and she goes, "Was that really a dragon?" I thought dragons weren't real.
Dragons
She's
are
kind of like
only
rubbing her legs.
in the shadow more. They don't know how to come out and survive in the light properly. And what was those things with weird looking hands?
I love him.
What were those?
Like he looked like a lobster from where I saw. Quite far away.
This kind of vibe.
Lobster.
You never know what this Zimic will do.
I love pets.
I guess looking at the map, do I notice any elves around?
Yes, there's one elf in this room. I would say, as this Boros knight is going about his business, she is often not too far behind him and is like classic Karen energy. She looks very wealthy and well off, wearing like fine green silk robes with her hair all done up, and she is basically like walking around looking very dismayed. Like she partially thinks that it's some kind of hoax, and And it's kind of like, yes, but I'm wealthy, so you'll save my life first, right? To this guard. And like occasionally as she's talking to the Boris guard, she'll cast an unpleasant glare towards you, Kotanari, and kind of mouths, it was probably them, as though the Golgari are responsible for what's happening.
That lady's looking at you funny. Is everything okay?
I don't trust her. She's the type that would hunt the eye blight like myself if she knew the truth.
Evelyn kind of gives you a what kind of a look. She's like,
Something like that.
I just want to look for an entrance into the Golgari underground if there's any secret entrances in this warehouse. I want to get out of here.
You can go ahead and roll me I'd say a perception check to give this place a once over and see if you find anything.
Is Evelyn able to sort of creep over towards where because she kind of wants to kind of go and climb on top of the crates a little bit and kind of get up to the top crates and kind of look over and see if she can see out a window or something.
Okay.
There's people still running.
The two main windows present in this building are here and here.
Oh, those two. Okay, cool. So I can see.
Yes, yeah. I'm just going to ask you all to make perception checks at this point, just to see if there's anything interesting you glean from those around you.
One thing to check: am I in sunlight?
You are currently indoors, so no.
I wasted my one natural 20 on this.
Oh,
it's okay.
I got right in the middle.
My third eye opens.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, you look like a normal human. Oh my God!
So, as you're kind of poking around, trying to check the windows, your ears kind of perk up when you listen to the conversation going on between these two hooded figures. It's not quite what you're used to, being from where you are from, but you think these two gentlemen who are speaking in Thieves' Cant. It sounds a little bit unusual to you because they're making references to things that you have no context for, but you might be able to pass some of what they're saying just because of your own understanding. Rubian and Theon, you both roll exactly the same. So you kind of like find a quiet corner and perk your ears up, and you can hear the sounds of screaming and combat and some spell effects going off in the city at large around you.
Everyone, they're screaming and combat.
It's hard to tell exactly. It's hard to tell exactly how far away it is, but you suspect it's getting closer. Cortinari, unfortunately, there aren't any convenient Golgari locations in this warehouse. You do find one of the water mains installed by the Izzet. So if you like, you can take a moment and refill your water skin and get a drink, which a few of these other individuals have been doing as well. Because Ravnica has indoor plumbing, everybody.
The aqueducts.
Toilets. Woo.
Yeah. So,
I don't trust the elf, that's for sure. She's too high class for me.
yes.
What about some goblins or even some Kithkin? Is there any Kithkin around?
You don't spot any Kithkin, but you do see one goblin
Or
right
anything
here.
that would represent what I would assume be an adaptation of what a Kithkin would look like. Because that's what I'm used to.
Small individual in this room is the goblin, and he's kind of like pacing back and forth, muttering to himself. I'd say with a 15, you hear him say the word Krenko. Like, that's okay. I get to Krenko. I gotta find him. It's gonna be okay. I should get out of here. And he's just kind of nervous and panicked.
Hey.
What are the two strange hooded? What sort of words can I pick up in the conversation without looking like I'm eavesdropping?
That's okay. Can I have to roll an insight check to try and pass the specifics?
Here comes the other side.
Oof,
Ain't got no clue.
not great. You don't know what a boiler works is, or who the sin collectors are. Or hang on a second, I've got some more choice words. We've got some magic cards. I have stacks ready just in case.
Pre-built war.
Do they have like sort of a suspicious tone of voice though?
It
Or
is.
like a
I mean, they are definitely trying not to be like too overt about it, but at the same time, they also sound confident in their assumption that no one else in the room can probably understand them. So they just assume you're some like scared girl trying to find comfort.
Well, I am.
Mm-hmm. So you can't quite pass exactly what they're saying, but just from the length of the conversation, it's pretty in depth.
Okay.
Hey fellas. Can't understand what you're saying. Hi, I'm Remain. Who are
Oh
you?
my god. Evelyn kind of like looks at him. She's like,
This one
Hi,
here
who are you two?
kind of turns to you, Ravane, and says, "It's no worry of yours, strange creature."
Oh, okay then. That's good. Thanks.
He looks genuinely confused as to what was just talking to him, and then just like turns, sees.
My neck is like a foot long, and then there's just a terrifying goose head at the top of it.
Yeah, he's pretty taken aback by your appearance and was like, anyway, and like tries to ignore your presence as he continues his conversation.
I go to the goblin and I ask, who is this Cranko you speak of? And can he protect all of us?
What language are you going to say this in?
In goblin.
I was going to say, Goblin. He kind of turns up and goes, that's, I know many things you don't need to know about. So
Goblins.
Rule?
I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sorry. But
Okay.
goblins looked after me for a long time. So, where is a safe place to go? Because is this place where we are safe from what's outside?
Hi, says safe for now. Apparently we're going to move on soon, but I'm not going with him. I'm going to find Cranko. And it's like, oops, I said too much. Roll persuasion for me to see how convincing you are at him saying anything further.
Persuasion, you said?
Persuasion. Oof. He kind of like eyes you up and says, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not telling you nothing. Horny elf.
Does Evelyn hear any of that conversation? Or just like the angry noises?
You speak. You also speak goblins, and as subtle as he's trying to be, goblins are not often known for their subtlety if they're panicked. So you probably heard most of that across the low murmur of the other people in this room. And as he seems done with Theon, he starts to just like scurry away from him.
I kind of want to chase after him and say, come on, help me, please. Like,
Get away from me! No! I already said no!
you're supposed to be a great, friendly race. Why are you not helping me?
And this is Ravnica.
What is this Ravnica everyone keeps talking about?
It's the
I don't
city!
understand.
It's where you are!
Okay.
The city is Ravnica!
Guess I'll just let you go then.
Okay! I was leaving anyway! Bye! He kind of scurries away a little bit further and starts examining the door.
So you three, you seem pretty interested in whatever's going on, and I think you might maybe be in a similar situation to me. I'm not really sure, but hi, I'm new. Very, very new.
Theon?
My name's Ravain. Hi. Do you know how to not die?
I've successfully done it so far, so I'd like to believe I know how to not die. I've survived a few hunts where I'm the prey, so maybe we should get out of here, because the key to survival, in my experience, is don't stay in one place too long.
I had a hunt once. It was one of those bucket ones. It was really nice.
As you're kind of gathered around having this conversation, people are moving around, and you kind of hear some commotion coming from the south of you. It sounds like in one of the back alleys there is combat ensuing, and walking away from this window, this Boros soldier is like, all right, it's getting a bit hot. We're moving. And just as he goes to say out, the window behind you shatters inwards.
Oh, that can't be good.
As this horrifying horned creature barrels down the street, bursts through the window, and comes to a stop, kind of landing abruptly atop the crates with an impaled Boros soldier on each horn.
I'm lucky I've got my bow ready.
Oh, that's very not okay. Oh, no.
Roll initiative. Ooh, I should open up the initiative tracker. There we go. Ooh, very nice. Theon, if you click on your token first and then roll initiative, it'll go into the turn order.
I have to do that. That a shot.
Let me queue up something.
Coming up.
Do you want me to re-roll my initiative?
Oh, that's all good. I can make some adjustments. Okay.
Oh, so we have to click our thing before we roll, and
Yes.
it goes into the turn order? Oh, that's cool to know.
Click on your token and then the roll. And now we have epic battle music.
I love that.
Okay, so I can do a thing. I'm going to give you a turn. And I'm going to give you a turn. I'm going to change Evelyn's to 11. Change Theon's to 18. I'm going to add a turn for this Lazotep Reaver that you are facing.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Oh, what?
Exactly.
As a question,
No.
do I need to roll perception or something to see how possibly alive the two people on its horns are?
You don't have to roll perception to know for sure that they are super dead.
Okay, cool.
It impaled plate mail twice.
Okay.
Both sides. And so I'm just going to roll a quick initiative for this guy. Actually, I should get its stat block up as well. There we go.
Oh, the old double plate mail impale mail. Oh, no.
It did not roll well on its initiative, though, so I'm just going to find its dex
Sail
roll.
away.
Good.
Find the thing. Where's the thing? There it is. It has a -1 to its initiative, so it's a 2.
Evelyn does the whole like Homer like fading into a hedge. Just pieces out.
I'm out.
I also roll.
If we hold the line and all of us together, surely we can best this thing. Where's everyone gone?
Turn around and we're all gone.
Why do we need to best it? It's just another creature. Surely it's just running from the stuff that's outside.
It's exactly like the blue covered undead you saw marching the streets, except it's a beast. Basically.
Oh, okay, then I don't say that.
Yes. So
Seems a little bit stabby.
Stabby, stab.
By running.
And I'll also just roll up basic stats for all of the non-combatant NPCs that are going to be trying not to die in this fight, because there are a few of them whose lives may be in danger here. So we will start off with Ravain. What would you like to do?
Had all this lead up, still wasn't ready for it. 1 second.
It's like, where's my character sheet?
Okay, so, you look not nice. I'm just gonna, how about we, get the bodies off your horns and we all sit down. I've got some crackers and some pamphlets.
It just roars across.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, I think you need to have a sit down. And I'm going to cast Command. It's a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Okay. Okay, I'm just checking. It is not immune to such an effect, so he's going to make a save and throw with a -2 to this roll. That is an 11. You
I said sit down!
And if this thing still had skin enough to have things like a tail and ears, they would probably be like curling up and kowtowing to your booming command of sit. And it
goes into sort of a honk, like I said sit down.
it just like its hind legs curl up, and it is sitting there patiently waiting as a dog would.
Yes, good. And I'm going to end my turn.
Okay. Would you like to move at all?
No.
Okay. Well, for context, because it may come up, the interior of this warehouse is about 15 feet high.
And how high is it compared to the crates and stuff like that?
You have all the boxes.
The crates are stacked up to about a max of 8 feet. So currently this Lazarus Reaver is about 8 feet off the ground on a pile of crates.
Cool. Understood.
And pull out. Oh, look. Lazarus Reaver. Thank you, wizards, for making my job easier. Okay. Next on, we have Theon. What would you like to do as this creature takes a seat in front of you?
So, since I apparently readied my bow preemptively ages ago, I would like to start making my way up the wall behind me.
Okay. If you're climbing crates, it is difficult terrain, so your speed is halved as you're climbing. But once you're on the top, it's fine.
Yep. So I probably can get to about there, I guess.
Yeah.
1, 2, 5, 10, 15. Yep. Cool. And then I will cast Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
So I will ready my bow while casting, so that when I finally can shoot this beast, I will do as maximum damage for this hunt as possible.
Okay. Please go ahead and make an attack roll against this creature with your longbow.
Is it not doing it?
See if you hit.
See if that works.
That
work?
That's a nat 20. Wait, what?
What?
Wait, it's what? You,
Doesn't
With
make
a-
sense. No, I think it's a 16.
6.
okay, that's odd. Why has it gone through as a crit? Anyway, so
That has gone through as a crit because it's green.
Congrats.
I'm very confused. Oh well, you hit it quite handily, and you deal 5 points of piercing damage with your bow, and an additional 2 points of magical piercing damage as a result of your Hail of Thorns spell.
And yeah, I will pass my turn.
Okay. Next up, we have Continari. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I didn't have it equipped, so I would like to equip my shield.
Okay.
And then Ravane stuck into this kind of alcove here with Ravane. And basically prepare to take a charge from this thing.
Oh, hi, buddy. How you doing?
Okay. So you brace for a potential impact.
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to take the dodge action or something else?
No, because I've taken an action to equip my shield, because I don't think
Good
I would
point.
be walking around with my shield on my arm. That would have been
Fair enough.
suspicious with Boris and people.
Okay. So you are ready and waiting for a charge. Now we move on to the civilians. They aren't looking too happy as they scream in terror as this thing bursts through the window. All of them just go no, 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 and just dash to the back wall as fast as they possibly can, just getting away from you. This goblin is basically, like, up until this point, was just jumping up and down by the door, trying to get enough height to push the log off. And as this Reaver comes through, he's just like redoubles his efforts in a panic because he knows the only other door out of here is past the creature. So all these people just run, kind of group up. Theon, you can probably. What's your passive perception, Theon?
My passive perception is a 15.
Okay. Then you probably hear these two gentlemen trying their best but failing, unfortunately, sneaking around the outside of these crates. You can hear the creak of the wood underneath them as they skulk about. I believe that is all of the NPCs accounted for. Next up, it is Evelyn, or
Yay.
You've been saying Evelyn, so I won't go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry. Right, so I'm going to use my movement. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to here.
Okay.
And I'm going to, because that's all my movement, I'm going to pull out my short bow. I have it ready in case anything comes at me. Am I able to hold my action?
You are able to hold your action. What are you waiting for?
Can I please hold a it's a short bow, sorry, not a crossbow. I'm going to hold an arrow to shoot at the thing if it looks at me aggressively. So if it looks like it's going to charge at me, I want to shoot it.
You're just
do my
holding your bow drawn, kind of like, just don't come near me.
And I kind of look at the. Do I see the sneaky dudes when I run to where I am?
Actually, as you kind of duck backwards, you see these two sneaky dudes, not sneaking especially well, towards you. They see you and go kind of, thank you.
I was like,
Okay, next up we have this gentleman. I had stats for him, but I've jumped in a bit with my pants.
Doesn't matter because he's going to spend his turn sitting down.
No, there is a Boros soldier who is among you.
My apologies.
It's D&D.
Beyond.
D&D Beyond. Let's find the stats for a generic knight, because that's what this guy is. Okay. And he's going to... Is this going to work? Oh, sweet. He basically he turns to the civilians and says, "Fear not, for I shall protect you." Draws a longsword and pulls out his shield and hops up the boxes and starts swinging away at this creature like ching, ching. It seems that his regular sword isn't doing as much damage as one might like, as this protective plating. It does make them resistant to non-magical weapon attack.
Well, that can't be good.
He attacks again and rolls a natural 1, so his first attack is a hit. His second one is kind of like a miss, and then he just stands his ground and is like, "I'm ready!"
You know this guy about to die.
Then it's the turn of the Reaver. The Reaver spends its turn sitting down.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Command does.
Oh, because he's suggested.
I forgot.
Then at the end of its turn, it kind of just goes, just like stands back up on all four legs and just like exhales a huff of moist air in the face of this knight, and it kind of just like blows his hair back a little bit in the face of this thing. Ravane, it's back to your turn.
Okay, well, that went all right. Is everyone okay back there?
So far, so good.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, he seemed to sword this thing. It didn't work very well. I'm gonna try a good old sacred flame. Sam, don't fail me now. And well, it's a DC 14 Dex save and 8 radiant damage if it fails.
Okay. It rolls a 7, so
8 radiant damage. There you go.
8 radiant damage. It has no particular vulnerabilities to radiant, so it is doing just fine on that point. So as your radiant fire called down by the goddess Sarah herself scorches across this thing's carapace, it seems fine for the time being.
Hey guys, it works. Just gotta hit it with the unstoppable power of a god.
Where did I find that?
I'm all out of fresh god juice. I'm sorry.
You just gotta think it real earnestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like be earnest.
It is your turn, Theon.
All right. I am going to move. Guess I'm going to move. Oh, got the wrong thing selected. There. And I'm going to make another attack with my bow.
By all means, please.
Do I have to cast Hail again, or it's...
You cast Hail of Arrows, and it happens once, and then the spell goes off. It's not like a Hunter's Mark, which adds more damage over and over. So it's just regular bow attacks now.
All right.
Show me what you got.
Then I'll just shoot my bow at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go again.
It ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Exactly. Did that work? Go.
Apparently, you have auto crit turned on or something. I've no idea what is happening with your training settings, but it's okay.
I'll fix it.
That is a hit, and you are able to deal 6 points of damage, which unfortunately isn't as effective as you would like because of its Lazotep plating, which is another magic card, which is nice.
No, not arrows. Try big angel energy.
All right, I'll try next time. But yeah, that's my turn done.
Okay. Cortanara, you braced for a charge that didn't come thanks to the magics of Ravane. What would you like to do?
But importantly, I now have my shield out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stay where I am and throw a chill touch at this thing.
Okay. You wave your hand in the air, and the spectral form of a skeletal hand appears before this creature and goes to grab at it. Unfortunately, it's able to shake off your necromancy and isn't affected by it. Okay. Next, we go to the civilians. They continue to panic, cower in fear, and just run as far in the opposite direction from this horrible creature as they can. The goblin is going to try and roll at disadvantage to get the bar down. He does manage to get both of his arms wrapped around one end of this thing and is basically holding onto it and just like shifting his weight up and down, trying to jiggle the big heavy log enough to kind of make it teeter and make the door be openable again. So he's working on that right now. Next up, it is Evelyn.
I'd like to run over.
Oh, actually, hang on. Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to mention these fine lads.
The little sneakies.
They sneak close to you and basically just look like they're waiting to hear if something happens or not. Like just like waiting to do a thing, and then they will react to it. So yes, now it's your turn, Evelyn. I'm
going to take one, like a panicked glance up at the monster thing and see that the dude with the swords. Whoa! And I'm gonna.
Menu!
I'm like, good distraction. I go sneaky, sneak, tiptoeing down very quickly towards this door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna on the door.
This door is barred similarly to the other one, but since you're on the inside, it's going to be an action since you are decently tall to just go like heave the big beam off the door and have it now be openable in front of you.
Sick. I'm going to use my action to that big beam off the door.
Yep.
And then go to shove it open on my next turn. So that's my action.
Okay. As you kind of set this big beam down, you glance over at the two sneaky figures and they give you a smile that kind of reads, "Thanks, kid. Making our lives easier."
I'm just kind of like...
And now we're on to the Boros Knight. He's making two swings against this thing. One is going to miss and one is going to hit. And he hits pretty good too. He deals a decent chunk of damage that is reduced by the fact that this thing is plated in Lazotep. So he's just swinging away. This time the creature is putting up more of a fight, kind of like moving around more than it was while it was sitting.
Oh, you're still doing great, buddy. I believe in you.
Stand back, bird person. I will keep you safe. And now it is the turn of the Lazotep Reaver.
Now, what can you do again, big guy?
Is it Cuddles? Please say Cuddles.
He is going to like kind of look around, sees what's going on around him, and is probably just going to do his favorite trick, which is try to impale two people at once and just run straight at Contanari and Ravain.
Old Mate will get an opportunity attack at least.
Indeed he does. I will make that attack for him now. He actually hits on the OP attack as he's running by and cuts a decent chunk out of this creature's armor.
Cuts off. Do it.
This creature has the ability charge. If it moves at least 20 feet straight forward towards a creature and then hits with a tusk attack on the same turn, it deals extra damage. So I should probably determine who of you is being tusked. I'd say this creature is tusking at Ravain just because you made him sit, and that's very not cool.
Okay, spooky elf person. I got a really good feeling about this.
Okay, and then it makes an attack roll with a +5 to hit you. Does a 16 hit your armor class?
16 meets it, so it beats it, yes.
Okay, then. This thing's sharp horns impact your leather armor and sink through them into your flesh.
Oh, no!
And this is actually going to hurt quite a bit, so I'm sorry.
Don't be.
How do I flip roll?
There's a little, like, tuft of feathers comes out around his horn.
You take 19 points of damage.
Cool, I'm down.
Oh no! as this thing charges into you. Yep. That is.
Oh, I shouldn't have had that extra bit of weird bark.
And you just fall limp to the ground, bleeding from this wound in your chest.
It's okay, I only got my organs.
Next up, we're back to the top of the round. Ravane, can you please make me a death save?
I absolutely can.
Nat 20?
Nat 20!
Please. I don't know how to use Beyond D&D to do a death save, so I'm just going to roll. What do I type in to roll just a D20?
If you check it,
D20.
Easy. One success.
That is one successful death save. Excellent. Now, next turn is Theon. Your new friend, you can call him a friend, right? Has just fallen at the sharp tusks of this creature. What would you like to do?
Great opportunity to escape.
I'm considering escaping, but I'm also considering trying to help. So I'm definitely probably going to, knowing that my last attack didn't do as well as it could have, I will use my last spell slot to cast Hail of Thorns again.
Okay. Now please make me an attack roll. I think I've misread
I've got
something.
rid of the critical section.
Okay, excellent.
I fixed that.
Well, a 14 is sufficient to hit this creature.
Hey.
You deal 3 points of piercing damage and 7 points of magical piercing damage.
Yep.
So this thing will therefore take 8 damage and is looking super not okay after that shot.
In comparison to me, how many knees is it?
That's a good question. You caught as it ran forward, you caught a choice shot right between its shoulder blades and into some of the rotten flesh lying beneath.
I was very impressed with the shot, so I just raised up my shield to give like a thumbs up, and that's when the horn went straight in.
Oh no! Like, okay. Contanari, your friend has fallen, but you're okay.
I'm totally fine. So what I'm going to do is, with my chittering speech, oh no, this has no verbal components. I'm just going to try and claw it in the face. So my fingertips elongate for a moment, and I just swipe out behind my shield.
Right. Primal savagery. Okay.
Which is not doing damage, is it?
Not doing damage, but that is enough to hit it at the very least. So roll. I think it's a D10 from Primal Savagery.
Yep.
Okay.
And
that is going to be enough. You slash across this thing as its tongue kind of laps out in anticipation, and the acid just scores across its tongue. It kind of reflexively pulls its tongue back into its mouth and then just starts to like gag and splutter as it melts from the inside out from this acid damage. And it expires.
So this will take an extra round, but limited spell slots. So I'm going to cast Goodberry.
Okay.
And then take an action. So this is 2 rounds, so
12.
So will I be able in time, if I cast it, then someone else stuffs it in Ravane's mouth?
Yeah, I jump. Actually, no, because I just want to do this. I cast, I do face step.
Oh, okay.
I teleport down. I guess, yeah.
Well, it's not yet relevant, it's autumn.
Yeah, it's not relevant, but it's just something that's cool. And come down.
Okay.
And help you with this.
Okay. By your powers combined of Congenari conjuring a handful of 10 good berries and Theon just shoving one down Ravine.
I have a terrifying neck. I've got like a pile of
Teeth on your tongue.
Teeth.
It's goose. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it.
Yep,
It
so
just slowly comes into
You're
consciousness
actually
and like,
shoving it under my tongue. You think you're shoving it down my throat.
So after a few misses with the good berry, Ravine, you are persuaded to chew on a good berry, and you regain 1 hit point as a result. You kind of become conscious.
Actually, that roll, but yeah.
As this has been happening, the knight Andre, well, I'll say his name. His name's Andre. He runs towards the civilians, checks that they're okay, says, "All right, this place is no longer safe. We're going to move. I've got a place in mind. Don't worry. Just be very still and very quiet, okay? We're going out the back." And Evelyn, what were you doing during this time?
I was going to open the door and peek out.
Okay. As you peek out the doorway a little bit, you see that nothing is immediately present around you, though you now have a slightly clearer line of hearing to some of the echoing footsteps coming from the stone floors outside, and you can hear something advancing in this direction.
Can I kind of step out and see if I can get a glimpse of what it is, whether it be friend or foe?
Okay. You kind of poke your head around the corner a little bit. Or just roll me a stealth check, please, if you're trying to be careful about this.
Yes, most definitely. That work? Yep.
Ooh, 20.
Second one for the night.
I'm just commandeering some... Actually, what am I doing? I'm an idiot.
I am invisible.
You go here. I go here. I obtain the token of which I seek. It is an individual like this. Coming around the corner. It is one of several of these soldiers that have potential, that have more than likely overwhelmed some kind of defensive perimeter that those Boris knights were holding, and they are now proceeding down the laneway. But your stealth is top notch.
Do I see which way they start going, or do they stop in that little junction?
They have this way or this way?
They seem to be sticking together, and for the time being, they are peeling off towards this direction.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god!
So as you kind of back through the door, these two individuals are right behind you. The taller of the two just says, "Thanks, kid," and
I
just
kind of bump into him in my panic, and I'm just pale as white as a sheet.
So he will clench his fist, and a ring on his finger that has a symbol that looks like an eye with 3 insectile legs coming out of it. The ring just flashes, and his entire visage becomes exactly the same as one of those blue skeletal individuals you saw outside, and he says, "Now, don't tell a soul." And then he grabs his comrade, pretending to have apprehended him, and then pushes him out the door, pretending to be one of these guys. And
Can I have screamed as soon as he turned into one of the freaking blue dudes?
Yeah, sure. So
piercing scream.
Okay. So he was about here. Scream. The rest of you have just finished making sure that Ravine is back on his feet. So you will hear this scream come from the door.
I used my face step too early.
You face up 5 feet. Congratulations.
Did anyone get the name of that horn?
No, I didn't catch it, but I feel like we shouldn't go near there.
As soon as I'd screamed, I screamed and then clap my hands over my mouth because I remember pretty instantly that there's monsters back out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ah!
Okay. Interesting.
I went for roleplay sake. I wear my ring on my left middle finger, and I'm like this.
Like, the guy just says, "You're lucky I've not got time for you," and just goes to skulk out, pushing his friend ahead of him, and begins to make his way deeper into the city.
Sus.
Super sus.
Well, that's them for you. Right. At this stage, you've kind of the rest of you, aside from Evelyn, this knight has kind of rallied all of the rest of the people. It's like, right, we're moving out. Let's go right now. Let's go right now. We're leaving. Okay, are you coming in? Are you gonna come?
Oh, God!
I'm following. Let's go.
Did anyone else get impaled in the chest?
No.
Oh, that's good.
You are so brave. Thank you all so much for fighting. Thank you. I'm not sure I could have taken care of that thing by myself. So let's go. Let's go.
Oh, you had it. I believe in you.
I may have further need of you. So as you all kind of gather around this night, leave the goblin behind, and you kind of scurry out of the warehouse and make your way deeper into the city. And that's where we're going to call it for this week.
No
I have a plan for
busybody.
civilians.
I love it.
You got.
Well, this is going great so far.
Everybody,
Really nice.
how do you feel about my campaign hook being the literal? I'm sorry, Twitch. I definitely wasn't paying absolutely no attention to Twitch this whole time, just to focus on the game. But
Yeah. I only just tapped into it and checked it, and it's like, oh no, Twitch lost audio. I can't hear.
Oh
And the
no.
sync switched. Oh, it sounds back. Hello, people. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
Someone says, I'm sorry to Niv Mizzet.
Okay. I'm going to.
Note felt Sully did that to Niv Mizzet, whatever it was. That
Yeah.
was Sully's doing.
Sully killed a CR24 spellcasting Elder Dragon by himself.
Yeah. Not
I'm
cool.
disappointed.
No, that was just Sully, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
You were
Amazing
like,
power of shot.
yeah. You were like, oh, what? It's just a 5/5. I cast Doomblade. And it's like, oh, okay. Right. I'm going to call upon the great benevolence that is Ben, who's been along on this ride with us. I've never streamed with Games Lab before. What is the procedure for an outro? Are we?
We'll have to dance.
Do we all start singing together?
Are we the kind of people to
And
to
going
raid
side to side?
to raid someone else and be supportive? Oh my God, I have 5 different messages. This is what happens when I'm not paying attention. Who? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Excellent. Well, allow me to open up my Twitch and see who's still streaming. I've got some people who I am familiar with. Oh, I didn't tell my
I see
other group who
I
are
love
going live.
hair. And to be honest, everyone here's got good hair except for me. So
Yeah, it's factually correct.
no,
Everyone
Liz,
in the chat has amazing hair.
Yeah.
There's
And
18
people
people
died.
watching. Hello.
There was 20 at one point.
There was 20 at one point.
I love it.
Boy.
Yeah.
Really?
I feel so special.
That's fun.
Yes. Well, I don't have any other people who I subscribe to or follow who are live at the moment, so dealer's choice. Oh, hello.
Adam, Amy, I think is streaming. Is Bella streaming or is she watching us? Okay. Yeah.
Indeed. Let's have a quick.
Or magic related.
Oh,
Either or.
Yeah, Magic
yeah.
or Dean.
Either or.
I actually see Magic the Gathering are also streaming right now.
Really?
That'll teach him. Grassledge suggests Fury Black, one of the regulars from Games Lab. That's not a bad option.
That's George. Yeah. Yeah, I like George. He's a cool guy. Yeah. Let's do that. So, I hope. Bye, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for session 2 of this continued adventure.
We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for joining
Every
us.
session I intend to kneel to die.
Hopefully that doesn't happen too often, but yeah, there's a good charge.
And I think we're in the other channel now.
Yes, we have jumped over.
Yep.